Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations with the Grand Canions. I am your co-host, Karen Canion, comedian Simply Net and Wookie, alongside my very handsome, fine husband, Coach. Who are you? What are you doing all
After what you said, that I am, welcome, baby. I'm Coach Ken, a.k.a. the professor, a.k.a. the doctor. And you know why I call myself, do you know why I call myself a doctor? You ain't never heard me say that?
Because you be examining
people's
relationships.
No.
Why you go there?
No, I be examining. No. I call myself a doctor, not because I have a PhD or an MD, but because when people come to me, I help get them out of pain.
Oh, okay. I like that.
All right.
Dr. Feel good.
Okay.
And he is.
All right, we back for another episode, y'all. First of all, click the subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed and you've come across this video, and you will realize that we talk about real stuff, some of which you will probably agree with, and some of which you will probably disagree with. But either way, it's a place where everybody can share their emotions, their feelings, because we don't always agree. You feel me? All right.
But I will say this right here. 98% of the people agree with me when it comes to agreeing.
So what that mean?
That I'm generally right.
That means you're an internet sensation?
No, it means I'm right.
Okay. All right. So last week's episode was a great episode.
It was great.
Thank y'all for watching. Thank you for all of the feedback. Mm-hmm. Good, bad, and ugly.
And keep those letters coming, please. You can inbox Ken or myself. Is that how this message you? No. How to go to the site.
Go to Coach Ken Canion at gmail.com. That's the company site. Coach Ken Canion at gmail. Go to the site. Cut! Hey, yo, this show is sponsored by the Pocket Communication Coach, the first AI software created by yours truly that helps you say what you need to say so you don't be saying nothing like that. So you can say the right thing at every time, the right response every time. PocketCommunicationCoach.com. All right.
Okay, so
what you got?
Tonight.
Why are you looking like that?
Because I have this video. Like, when I tell you, just watch it.
When you give someone something for free the first time, it creates appreciation. When you give someone something for free the second time, it creates anticipation. When you give someone something for free the third time, it creates expectation. Fourth time, it creates entitlement. When you give someone something the fifth time, it creates dependency. And you don't give it to them by the sixth time, it creates hatred and resentment.
Now, when I saw that video, it made me think so much on so many different levels. You know, relationship, friendship, parents.
Family.
Yeah, family.
Listen.
Like
a lot.
But tonight we're gonna just take one angle with it. We're gonna look at it, or are we?
Well, here's what I'd like to do. Mm-hmm. I like to look at this from a real human being perspective.
Okay.
Let's look at, and then both of us can do that, and then I'll break down something that some people gonna get triggered by. Mm-hmm. You remember I did that video a long time ago when I said if a woman doesn't pay by the third or fourth time, she using the guy, and I got so much backlash. Video had 1 million views, and a lot of people disagree with me. Well, I wrote down what he said, but he broke down exactly what I was thinking in the video, why I said it. So we'll talk about.
Yeah, because I've never heard it quite put this way.
Oh, man, he broke it down like,
whoa.
Right, it was one of the most appropriate videos.
But so accurate.
Oh, super accurate. And we're gonna break it down and talk about relationships, but we're gonna talk about all relationships, not just romantic.
Okay.
Because a lot of times it could be you got daughters or sons who you give them something free. So here's what he said. So I'm going to talk about first, let's talk about romantic relationships.
Okay.
I'm going to take the dating one that I did.
Okay.
And remember I said in it, I said, if a man always pays, I said, basically, this is what happens. So I want you to think about what he said. The man pays, you could, the lady or the women out there who expect a man to pay all the time. And what he said, here's what happens when you create, what you're actually doing is conditioning a belief, a response, and an emotion. You're conditioning a belief, response, and emotion. Because he said the first time, it's appreciation. Somebody does something, gives you something free, you appreciate them, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second time, you got something free.
You see him, you anticipate.
So it's anticipation.
Yeah. Ooh,
So I
gonna
got
give me
something
this
free.
time.
I like the feeling because I'm valued. I feel valued. I like the feeling that you value me. All right. So I'm still in the appreciative mode. Okay. So it's appreciation. But by the third time, this is when the shift begins to happen. That is why I said after the third time, after the third time, she using you. Because here's why. Because the third time, I begin expectation.
That's what I expect you to do.
I expect you to pay for free. I expect not to pay for anything. I expect it.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, what people don't realize is there is a shift in psychology that's going on. The psychology of the relationship is changing. So he says by the fourth time, you begin to get entitled. Oh, you didn't pay? I expect you to pay by the third time. Now I feel like I'm owed that. I'm owed that. You got to pay me. You got to pay for me. That is why I said after the third time, she's using you because the entitlement come. Now you're going to say, I know what you're going to say, because before we discussed this, you was like, what if a fool don't want to pay ever?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
But I want to say, then the fifth time you create dependency. He said, if you pay by the fifth time, now the person is depending on you. It's an error. What dependency is? Codependency. A relationship where there's codependent parties, that means you define the relationship by the codependent needs. I need you to pay. I need you to pay, not because I can't pay, because that is how I see our relationship, that I don't pay. Okay, now we've gotten into a codependent relationship. You get something out of it, I get something out of it. And now, if you paid all at times, now we've gone from the appreciation to this codependency where you feel like, okay, you got to pay. That's your role.
That's your role.
That's your role.
That is your
now
role.
I'm depending on that role that's how I see it.
And then the last one was
Well, if
when you don't.
When you don't pay after that.
When you don't.
So after that, if you don't pay, what happens is now it becomes, I'm resentful, frustration. I'm angry because you did not. And the reason people get angry is because I framed the relationship the way it is in my mind. And now if you go against the framing that I've had in my mind, there's something wrong with you.
Audience, what was your thoughts on this? What do you agree with this?
Some people might not agree.
Do you
That's cool.
disagree? Well, I mean with the video as well. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if you disagree, what do you disagree with? What do you agree with in this? I've never heard it put like this before. I know my dad used to always say, if I give you a fish, you eat for a day. If I teach you to fish, you eat for a lifetime.
Did your dad think he came up with that?
No, but that's what he said, and that was the first person I heard say it. So don't you get off of my father.
That was my guy.
But and so he was not just a giver. He didn't just give things. So I didn't grow up.
I know I had to give him major interest if I asked at the bar, hey, Mr. AJ, I need to borrow like $3,000. Oh man, I hate that for you, guy.
That's what he would say,
Oh,
guy.
guy, I hate that for you, guy. Listen, we can talk about that later. But go ahead. I'm just messing with you.
Get off my daddy. But and so I didn't grow up like everything that was given to me, but there was an appreciation with it. And so as parents, a lot of times, and I'm flipping, we try to give our children everything that we never had, and we forget to give them everything that we did have.
Oh, that's good.
As far as, you get what I'm saying? And so the first time you tell a child no, for whatever reason, and you're presented with the resentment,
That's deep.
that in turn, you don't get it. And so then you go back to number one. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so a lot of times the person on the other side is controlled by these steps.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I never thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because when you hit the hatred and resentment, that doesn't feel good to you. You want to go back to appreciation. So you start giving again.
Because you what did I say earlier? We condition an emotion, a response, and a psychology. All right? Because now, unbeknownst to us, when we give our kids, let's use our children.
Okay.
Let's not even use dating.
Okay.
When we give our kids something free without them, and what free is without them earning it, without them having to give something of value for something of value. All right? So when we do that, when we have to do that, what it is they don't get it. They don't get it.
Okay.
So we create that whole idea of by the time you get to resentment, then they start talking back. Then they start rebelling against what you say. And you ever notice how they don't, this is the part of the codependency. You ever notice how they never bring up when you do something good? You ever notice how they don't ever bring up when you do something good? You know why they don't ever bring that up?
They always take it to step 6.
Because it becomes codependent now. I'm conditioned for you to always give me something free while I don't have to. You're beat it up. Beat it up. Hey, production. We need a paper towel. Yo, I can literally see you beating up.
Listen, this is in real time, menopause.
So, baby, let me show you how we have to change that, though.
Yes, that was going to be my question.
Because so the question is if they go to this stuff and we've given them stuff free, we are partly to blame because we have enabled the behavior. We have enabled the thought.
So how do you flip it, though?
After you've gotten them to the state
after you've gotten to the stage
where
of
they
resentment
just expect to,
and the expectations, and you go through those stages and you realize, hey.
So let me explain it to you. What you have to do is it's a pattern now. It's a psychological pattern. And so what you have to do is interrupt the pattern. And so the way you interrupt the pattern is, number one, you identify what the pattern is to the other person. And what you do is you tell them, you know what? Every time I get you something, I've gotten you things for free and that you've never had to pay for. And over the years, I've done that, and you've grown to expect that. And I feel disrespected because when I don't give it to you, this is your behavior. So what you have to do is directly address the thing. Because if you don't address
call it out.
You have to call it out, but you have to call it out in a way that is not disrespectful. You have to call it out in a way that gets them to understand and see it. They might not like it. They might not agree with it. But number one is address what it is you see. Number two is create a boundary. From this point forward, I will no longer be buying anything free for you. You're going to have to pay yourself. Mama ain't coming to get you out of jail. You have to create a boundary.
Boundaries are hard to create when you are the one, like when you have never set boundaries.
True.
and you get to a certain point, that's a hard pull, tug, push, pull kind of thing. That's hard.
That's why you have to get a coach, somebody to help you through it, somebody to support you. That's why you have someone like a coach or therapist, somebody that can support. Because if you could do it on your own, you'd have been did it.
Right.
You would have done it. But let me give you this right. Let me say this to you. To help somebody, you got to be willing to hurt them. You have to
Wait, back up. To help someone, you have to be willing to hurt them. You have to explain that.
You will never be able to help someone that you're not willing to hurt. Here's what I mean. If I'm not willing to tell you what I feel, and no longer provide what I've been providing, if I'm not willing to tell you, if I'm not willing to tell you what's wrong, if I'm not willing to tell you that you have become a freeloader, not saying it like that.
Yes.
You have been coming on financial, and you don't want to step up. If I'm not willing to tell you something that might hurt you, then I can't truly help you.
Wow.
Think about this.
Wow.
Everybody who's helped me was willing to hurt me. In other words, what I mean by willing to hurt me,
I get what you're saying.
they
But
said some stuff that I didn't like.
Right.
That I felt some kind of way about.
Yeah.
You know, Palmer told me that time, and he's sitting right there. And he told me that time when he said, hey man, this was years ago, when he was like, we had that business and the business wasn't going good. And he was like, don't nobody like you. Well, that didn't feel good. Because the first thing I was like, F them, forget them. They don't like me. They ain't got to like me, but it hurt. When you find out that people don't like you because of your behavior. But that was the catalyst of me changing. That's why I don't get too riled up and upset now. Is that day, many years ago, started a chain reaction in me that helped me to stay calm nowadays. So you got to be willing to hurt someone to help them. And a lot of people who have gone through this entitlement process, if you will, they ain't never been willing to hurt the other person. They never been willing to say no. They never been willing to tell the person, here's what's happening, here's what you're doing, and here's how it makes me feel.
So that was going to be my next question. If I'm on the other side of that, how do I successfully, well, I don't know what success, how do I, what do I want to say? How do I get across really that I'm not going to accept this behavior, but then I don't feel bad about setting my boundaries. That's how do I set boundaries and not feel bad about the boundaries that I set?
So you're asking me two questions. You're asking me two questions that should not be asked in the same. And you're asking me two questions. They should not be asked in the same.
Why?
Thought. Because
you want to set boundaries, but you feel guilty because of the way the other person may feel about the boundaries that you set. How do I set boundaries and feel secure in the boundaries that I set?
You ever had a parent say, "This gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you"? I mean, you've heard people say that, right? And what are they saying? Because you didn't like to beat your girls, but because after you beat them, you felt bad sometimes.
Sometimes
right?
it was.
Well, why did you feel bad? Because you caused them harm, but you knew the beating was for correction. Okay, so that they wouldn't do certain things, right? So here's my thing: why you can't worry about how you're gonna feel first. That's why you don't ask them the same. You have to worry about the behavior you want.
Think of the solution.
Think of the behavior you want to happen, and that's why you got to fight through how you feel, because how you feel has gotten you in this predicament.
So in a relationship, they would do it the same way. It's the same process as parent, child, significant other, booed up relationship. They would.
Because can I tell you what we do as human beings? Because we don't want the other person to feel bad, then we will allow behaviors to avoid confrontation and conflict.
And we'll feel bad
We will
for somebody
feel
else's
bad.
comfort.
We will feel bad with
We will
somebody
feel
else.
horrible, and the other person's walking around doing their little thick thizzle, and
Right,
yeah.
right. We will forego conflict for comfort.
Ooh.
We will forego conflict for the other person's comfort.
The whole time.
Tonight I'm dropping gems.
Mm.
I mean,
I'm guilty.
I know you are. I know
But
you
I'm
are.
changing that.
And you are too. And I second that. You are too. And do you know, you and I have had conversations before where you might have thought I was harsh or direct or whatever you thought. I don't know. But I never knew how. If I knew back then what I know now, I could have explained it to you better and differently why I think some of the ways of avoiding conflict for comfort would be detrimental down the road.
Mm-hmm.
But when you know better, you do better. I know better now how to say it, how to communicate it, because I got the pocket communication.
For
coach.
me, I just know that words have power, and you cannot take back words. Sometimes I fail and I speak out of anger,
Not often.
but not
You
often.
don't often.
But
every now and then, but not often.
Why you laugh?
You very rarely speak out of anger.
But when so that is a reason why I don't like confrontation, or I'd rather be comfortable.
But there's a way to say it now.
Yeah.
Even when you're mad. That's why I created the pocket communication coach. I'm not even trying to do a plug. Yes, I am. But but the reason I created the pocket communication coach is so you could say it without the emotion. So you could say it and not be aggressive. So you could say it and not be combative. And then the other person would understand your language. That was the reason why I created it. And so I think like this. I know this conversation has taken a different path, but I'm glad we're doing this because some people out there, y'all listen to me. Some of y'all have created codependency. I want you to go back and look at this video. When you give somebody something for free, and what I mean, and what he meant in the video for free is not that they didn't have to pay money. This wasn't about money. When you gave it free, meaning they didn't have to surrender something of value, time, effort, whatever. And whenever you give somebody something and they don't have to surrender anything of value, these things are created. First, there's appreciation. Then there was anticipation. And then the third one was what?
Expectation.
Expectation. What was the fourth one? Entitlement. The fifth one?
Dependency. And the sixth, when you don't
do
it,
it creates
hatred.
anger, resentment, hatred. All of those low vibrational emotions.
That was good.
That's good. I mean, I appreciate that we're doing that. I mean, wow, that's good. Well, but on a lighter note, it's your turn for the cards.
It's on my turn. You know I'm always going to do the original. These are cards that Ken himself created one night. I'm going to tell.
Hold up, both of them first.
One night, he was philosophizing, asking me all these questions. He was being real deep. And I said, you asking me all these questions, you should create a game. And I woke up the next morning and he had about 100 and was it 120?
I had 100. I had 125, about 130 already.
I was like, bruh, I mean, what? So you have to be careful what you say around here. But anyway, we created this card game. This is the original version. Great way to get to know your significant other or spouse. Just ask questions that are kind of too hard or that you don't think about asking. And it creates great dialogue.
And it's just fun.
It is fun. It is a lot of fun. A lot of laughter. If you and your buddies sit around and drink, great drinking game. How do I know? My cousin told me. Let me see. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. We've done a lot of these.
I mean, we got a lot of episodes.
Okay, so I don't know if we've done this one or not.
Okay, give it to me.
I'm not sure if we've done this one.
Okay.
You catch your partner staring at someone of the opposite sex while you're on a date, maybe at the gym with sweat going down. Would you, A, disregard it? It's no big deal. They are with you. B, confront them about being disrespectful. C, leave the date. D, order the most expensive meal and never call again.
So what that card is saying, we're on a date.
You're on
so
a date.
So we just not met this person.
You catch your partner staring. You catch your partner staring at someone of the opposite sex while on a date.
Okay.
Would you, A, disregard it? It's no big deal. They're with you. B, confront them about being disrespectful. C, leave the date. Or D, order the most expensive meal and never, ever call again.
If I'm on a date and she looking at old dude over there and he might be smooth or she might looking at his third leg or whatever it is, if she paying C, I'm going to let her go and pay.
No, you didn't. You weren't listening then. C was leave the date.
Okay, what was
D was order the most expensive meal and never call again. That's what I would have picked for you.
Nah, I would have
called her.
I would have paid. I probably would have called her again.
But you would have.
I would have been like Pop goes the weasel. You gonna pay for this, and then you can pay for that. I mean, you know.
I would confront him about being disrespectful.
Would you move your neck like that?
Yes, I would, because I would be pissed off and embarrassed.
But what if y'all just knew on a date?
This is not what it says. It says your partner. So don't be trying to change it up. He always be trying to flip-flop. Audience, what would you do? You catch your partner staring at someone of the opposite sex while you're on a date. Would you, A, disregard it? It's no big deal. They're with me. B, confront them about being disrespectful. C, leave the date. D, order the most expensive meal and call again. Which would you do? I would say something. Don't be what's that? What? What's wrong with your eyeballs?
Or what you could do is put in the PCC, pocketcommunicationcoach.com. Y'all notice I keep saying PCC because that PCC good. And then you can put in pocket, and then you don't say nothing stupid.
Let me tell you something.
Pocketcommunicationcoach.com and listen. And if you got something sensitive to say, you just type it in. It's going to tell you what to say so you don't do nothing like what she about to do.
That's our pocket communication coach is beautiful. But if I catch you getting asthmatized in the restaurant or anywhere like that.
It depends on how big that ass is. You done seen some asses where you was looking at them.
I'm going to do the pocket communication coach on the way home from the restaurant to fix what I had done messed up while we was at the restaurant.
Tell the truth, Dad. Me and you been together and her ass been so big, you done looked at it.
Be some donks that you
were like, I know she got a big old ass. Go on look. I mean, yeah. I'm looking at that big ass.
I actually apologized to you the other day.
You showed here.
I told him, I was like, you know what, babe? I'm going to stop holding you accountable for looking at booties. I mean, it ain't your fault that they just everywhere. They just everywhere. They just out here shaking and jiggling and carrying on. And who am I to stop you from looking at all that shaking and jiggling and carrying on, and you trying not to look, and you getting stuck, and you don't want to look, but you want to look, but you scared to look. I'm not gonna do that to you no more.
Hey,
I apologize.
Taylor, we're recording this, right? We are recording this, right? Okay. I just want to make sure y'all heard it right. Listen. I'm just saying we recorded this.
Woo! So the next time he gets stuck on the booty, he gonna be like, no. You go back to that video. You said. That's what you gonna say.
I mean,
but don't get stuck.
I don't get stuck anymore. But the one thing for sure, you and me both you be like, yo, that ass big. I ain't gonna even lie. I mean, that's a big old ass.
Yeah.
You do be saying that.
Yeah. Some of them about 8 wipers. I'm telling you. Hey.
Yo, we gotta go there.
Y'all, look,
She
thank
said
y'all
8
for joining
wipers.
us on tonight. Take
I can't
time
even
to
believe
do something that's gonna help prolong your life. Go get it, cause it ain't gonna come wipe you. Y'all have a wonderful, we the Grand K's and we out.
I can't. I cannot. I cannot. Oh.